a closed caption button along the bottom. It's live transcript CC. So if you want to turn on your subtitles, you can click that button along the bottom of your toolbar. I'm Emma Menchefski. I'm communications manager here at the Halifax Chamber of Commerce, and I'm your host for this morning. As part of the Halifax Chamber's business recovery strategy, we have partnered with SimplyCast to offer their digital marketing, communications, and management platform free for all of our members. Long before the pandemic, we knew that a strong digital push could help organizations operate better, create new opportunities, and support future growth. And after several months of businesses adjusting and adapting, we wanted to find a way to support our members and take away some of that stress we've been feeling. SimplyCast's platform is an all-in-one communications tool that can help you automate your marketing, improve internal processes, and make your life easier. And today's webinar will help us explain how this platform can support your business. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions for our presenter. If you have questions throughout the presentation, drop them in the Q&A. We'll answer them as they come up, so please feel free. Any question at all. Our presenter and guest speaker today is Saeed El-Darahali, CEO of SimplyCast, who's going to run us through some examples of how to use the platform for the real estate industry. SimplyCast team has been doing dozens of discovery calls with our members every week to help them identify challenges within their organization and a SimplyCast tool that can help them out with those challenges. So welcome, Saeed. Thank you so much for joining us.
Excellent. Thank you, Emma, and thank you, Sandra, for setting this up. I really appreciate all the organization and the background to have us present to your members. And to the members that are here today, thank you very much. It's wonderful to have you with us. I know that the real estate industry is currently booming, and a lot of businesses, when they're booming, they're not really looking for new strategies to deploy as part of their business. But you guys are here today, which means that you're going to be ready when there's an opportunity to also expand your business when things are not as booming. And this is probably the best time to look at opportunities to invest in technology and to streamline your processes. Real estate has been around for a very, very long time, as you can imagine. What we have done over the last 11 years as a company, SimplyCast has been in business for 11 years right here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. We have been working with pretty much every industry, including real estate, brokerage firms, and many others. Our goal today is basically to open the opportunity for you to take a look at technology that could complement what you do today. This is not going to change the way that you do business. This is really going to be able to expand the opportunity of how you do business and potentially reduce your cost, increase your profits, and hopefully put you to the number one spot in your area specifically, because as you can imagine, the more that you can do at lower the cost, the higher the opportunity. And furthermore, the goal of our chat today is to focus on one word. And if there's one thing to remember from this, is that everybody wants to be engaged with. SimplyCast is an engagement automation technology. The faster that you can get to someone, the higher probability that a transaction will actually happen with that individual, because that makes you much more responsive than the other agent or the other brokerage firm or the other real estate broker in this case. So as you can imagine, for you to do that at 3 o'clock in the morning while you're asleep is not something that any human can do on a regular basis. However, with technology, we can get that back to that client and say, we're going to have a call with you hopefully within the next 11 to 12 hours to get back to them, or 24 hours to get back to them very quickly. So that responsiveness is what we would like to call engagement today, and this is what you could do with technology with the SimplyCast capability. Furthermore, we're also going to be looking at use cases specifically for digitization for COVID, and show you some of the key capabilities that you could have a safer, more opportunity to show that you're taking every precaution, both to protect your clients when you're doing open houses, when you're doing a lot of these various normal transactions that would occur as part of the normal real estate system. So we're going to show you a few of those use cases, but what I'd like to do now is to basically, if you can introduce yourself to Emma, and then she'll bring up who you are, and we're just going to do it every couple of minutes as each person comes in and introduces themselves and tell us a little bit about who you are. Are you representing a brokerage firm, or are you representing yourself as an agent? And if there's one dream that you have, if technology could solve for you, just write that, and Emma will probably sprinkle those as I have a few stops here and there. So please go ahead and do that. Andrea, welcome. I see Steve, Mr. Young is here, and Mr. Tang, and then organization from Real Estate 360 as well. So please tell us a little bit about yourself in the comments, and Emma will introduce you. So I've already introduced SimplyCast. As you can imagine, we've been very successful and blessed to be as part of this great province. We've had companies like CUA, the Government of Nova Scotia, IWK as part of our client base. SimplyCast is also ISO 27001 certified. What that means for you is that your information is encrypted. Nobody gets access to that information. We don't share, sell, or rent any of the information that's in the system. The information is yours only, and nobody will get access to it except for yourself or an authorized representative of your organization. So privacy is one of the most important things in our company, and we take it very seriously. You may have seen our technology in the wild. Janice, welcome to our webinar. If you have been to a restaurant, you probably have noticed the new technology that the Government of Nova Scotia, along with the RANS Association, has now adopted, is to check in and ensure compliance with the public health order. It has been working really, really well, and we've had a huge uptake across the province. So we're very excited to be part of the fight against COVID. So now going into the presentation, as you can imagine, the good work of Patrick, Kent, and Emma, and the rest of the Chamber team, they have worked really hard to secure this technology for 1 year as a license. Otherwise, you would be paying for it. So thanks you to the Chamber for partnering to provide your members with this free service. There's no cost whatsoever for 1 full year, 365 days of free usage. We're going to be providing you with best practices. We actually have a full-time person working on behalf of the Chamber to basically take an opportunity with any type of use case that you can imagine. And we're going to talk a little bit about use cases in a few minutes. Are the slides changing for everyone? And is the slides changing for you?
I'm still on slide 1.
Oh, I am. Okay, maybe there's a problem. My apologies here. Let's take a look. Let me stop sharing and then do that one more time. Okay, let's try that again. All right, what slide are we on?
Now we're on number 2.
Okay, so we're moving to number 3.
Yep, perfect.
Perfect. Yeah. So my apology, a little glitch here in the software. So as I've mentioned, these are, I've already mentioned the free, the usage. We have a dedicated person that's working on behalf of SimplyCast in the Chamber to support you. We also do one-on-one. So this is not just a group opportunity here. If you have a specific question that you want to bring up, by all means, do have a chat with the team, and they will book a specific session specifically for you to ensure that we build it. And last but not least, there's a second thing that I remember. So the first thing that I want you to potentially remember is that we're in the business of engagement, and the faster that you engage with someone, the faster that you potentially are going to close more business, because you're more responsive than the average person out there, and technology is available 24 hours. So the word engagement is what we're about for SimplyCast. The second thing that we're about also is that we're very focused on something that's called the use case model. Every business in the world is very focused on supporting their customers, being streamlined, providing more service so they can make more profit from the client, and ensure that the satisfaction of the client is as high as possible. We have come up with a model called the use case model. This model is very innovative, and it's first of its kind for this type of software. And what it does is it really looks at a specific opportunity within your organization where you might want to basically automate, streamline, and ensure a much better process. So we've built this concept of the use case where you could tell our team, I'm dreaming about this use case in my business. Can your software develop it? And 99% of the time, our company is able to help you with that use case, reduce that pain, increase your engagement, and potentially increase the satisfaction with your customers. So we can build specific use cases based on the dreams that you have about things within your business. And all you have to do is book a one-on-one with the client, and we'll be happy to build that for you. So let's jump in. And as you can imagine, I love telling the story. And today we're going to talk about a fictitious company we call Simply Homes. It's a local real estate agency. It's really interested in digitization and streamlining and complementing their existing processes to ensure that there's a buyer and seller process that's in place. Currently, as you can imagine, they're like every other broker and agent out there. They're just using the normal, traditional, proven methods without any digital solution. However, they just can't keep up with all the things that are coming in, and they want to continue to push to take the lead and make more profit without having to spend an arm and a leg, investing in very expensive technology. And because of the chamber, all this is available for free for you. So here's what the top 3 questions that they've asked when we were going through with some of those folks in the real estate world. So what are the benefits of digitization? What are the processes, and how should we start? Well, let's take a quick look at it, the benefits. The benefits are straightforward, as you can imagine. It's basically streamlining. The technology is available 24 hours. It's reducing the manual work on behalf of your staff and yourself if you're a single, you're a single agent working on your own without any support staff. So this technology is really your support staff. It's going to make your life easier, and then this way, when you log in to the technology, you know exactly what to do and where to go, rather than trying to figure out, am I supposed to get back to this client? Am I supposed to talk to this person? Do I have an open house here? Do I have to get the sign up? Do I have to, what location have the sign of the house been removed by this company that goes around in the truck and picks up the little pillar with the sign on it? So all these things that are happening are a lot for a single person that's without having a support staff. Organizing the communication, automating, thanking someone after they bought a house, for example, and thanking them for their business. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, right? Because we know that the average home gets sold on average between 3 to 5 years. So having that individual getting a message from you every year without you having to do anything, that in its own could potentially have increased your opportunity for more business in the future. And these small little things that you could do today without having to spend a single ounce of energy in a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 from now is exactly how you can become the #1 agent in your jurisdiction. And also maximize your budget. If it's not going to cost you a fortune to reach out to 10,000 people that have, maybe walked into an open house, and you have a little QR code that they signed up and said, hey, if you have other homes, we don't have an agent right now, please give me a call. Well, that's another method that you could use today, as people are walking into open homes, but they don't have an agent that's representing them. And there's a potential that you could, save on having another agent, take that fee away from you if a dual agency was to be provided. So these are some of the things that this technology could provide. And the key is, imagine the use case, tell us what you want, and we will help you develop it. So some of the challenges, limited in-person conversations, specifically for COVID-19, where you have to do, face-to-face interactions. There's a lot happening on the digital side, and no one has come up with a technology to ensure that whole COVID situation and the process of how you manage, the transaction is put into a very simple and, humanly easy to understand process. We have done that, and we could do that for you. Let's say, let's say Abby or Andrea came up with, a different process than the normal process that they take. Well, the problem is, if you were to go to a different software company and say, I'd like to change this because, Mandy came up with an idea while we're sitting together, and Mandy said, well, I'd like to do this process just before that process. Well, any software company can't do that for you, and they will not change it. With the SimplyCast system, with a click of a mouse, you can actually change a flow back and change that whole process to fit the way that you want to do it. And if you have a secret sauce that you don't want anybody else to know, that's where you come into our team and say, I've got this unique use case. I don't want to share it with anyone. I would like to develop this to ensure that it meets the requirements. So things like physical materials, brochures, mailouts, anything like that that you would like to do, the technology would be able to, automate that process specifically on what needs to be mailed out. Not so much actually doing the mail out for you, but what needs to be mailed out at what time and what is the brochure. So you can automate a lot of these processes where, as you're waking up every morning, here's the 3 things that you need to do to support the work. You don't need to have a lot of technical knowledge to do this. You just need to have an understanding of what you want to do, and the rest is being taken care of on your behalf. Or graphic design and things like that. You could have one of your graphic designers or brochures that you created, and we could take that information and put it into the system. And finally, very minimal, budget constraints. So there's a lot going on specifically with what's happening today. But the goal of this is that if you set it up today, this will be working for you for the rest of your career, right? This is not something that you do in a pandemic. This is something that will, pay dividends when the market is up and when the market is down. And just imagine if the market is down and you're already fully automated and streamlined, you're probably going to be getting more business than the person that's manually intervening into the process. So the solution. So basically, we have 4 steps on how we can help you, conduct this process. We would be looking at developing a strategy with the good work that Emma and Halifax, Chamber has been doing. We've actually created multiple templates where you can start off. So this way, you're not kind of getting into the system and trying to figure out what to do. We're creating a real estate template. We're creating the use cases. We're showing exactly the process that you need to take to get to that next stage. And then from there, you could say, you know what, I don't really like this, standard process. I'd like to do 1, 2, 3, a little extra because I know that's how my business is run. And I like to have a little more engagement with my clients compared to the normal process that agents take. And that's the beauty of the system. It's a matter of click and drag, and you're able to add those 3 processes inside the system. And basically, we could what we're going to look at is how you can enter into the process of the sales cycle. So developing the strategy, pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at something that's very simple. We want to basically be able to collect new leads. Those leads could be coming in via phone. Those leads could be coming in via an online lead form. Those could be coming in from somebody going up to the sign and clicking a little QR code that's automatically part of this process that we're going to show you as well. So you can put these little QR codes or information on all your brochures, including your card. So this way it becomes a lot easier there's less friction for the information to be inputted into the system. We basically, the minute that any lead enters your system, 24/7, 365, 7 days a week, the system is responding saying, thank you for entering the system. Here's a little bit of information. Message 1 is going to go up thanking them for signing up. Message 2, here's a little bit of information that you may want to learn a little more about the strategy of sales, and maybe a little bit of information about me. And maybe in 2 to 3 days, another piece of information goes out in a step-by-step process. And eventually you'll be able to figure out what is best for your customers and for your industry to ensure that you have the best process. So it's continuous improvement. So when we create the process, it doesn't stop. In a day or 2 or 3 or a week or 2, you're able to continue to enhance that process and make it fit the needs and the changing of times. Like we could have created before COVID, and as soon as COVID hit, we're able to change that strategy to support what is going on with the public health orders and so on. And the most important part that I want to share with you is that every business, regardless if you're an agent, if you're a small business, you're for a major corporation, you need to have a pipeline. If there's one thing that you need, the third thing to remember in this session is that every single person must have a pipeline. A pipeline basically shows you the status of where people are in your transaction flow. And if you know that, if let's say you have 50 people that are looking for homes, or 200 people looking for homes, you have one person that's in a transaction mode that's going to close on their home, there's a showing that's happening. Each one of those can actually be visually identified using the pipeline technology that we have. And that removes so much stress, it is unbelievable. Our company uses it on a daily basis. We have removed almost 80 to 90% of the clutter that people feel and the stress that people feel, because they just don't know what's going to happen next. But with this is a visual technology that can show you exactly where you're at in the process and where's everybody else within that process. So moving forward, maybe I'll stop just for a minute or 2. Is there any questions, Emma, that people have asked? And this might be a good opportunity for you to go ahead and ask a question, and Emma will bring it up. So I'll stop there for 1 second just to see if Emma has any questions.
I don't have any right now, but if anyone has one, please feel free to drop it into the box as we move along, like Saeed said, and I will make sure they get asked.
All right, and maybe another point just to put into the box is, what do you think so far of the concept of pipeline that removes the stress away from what is going on right now in your world, what needs to happen tomorrow, and what needs to happen in a few weeks? Do you think that's something that you would be excited about using and seeing it in real life? Just go ahead and say yes or no in the chat, and Emma will tally the numbers for us as soon as she has them. All right, so moving on. So, information intake, very simple. We have, like I said, multiple methods to allow that to happen, including, SMS short code where you can text in, like similar to what's happening within the, the restaurants, for example. We can actually do the COVID check-in as people are walking in for an open house. And let's say, God forbid, an exposure was to happen in that home, and because someone basically was COVID positive, we're able to provide that list very quickly, and that would make people safe and ensure that your company, has taken every precaution, along with your brokerage firm, that you have taken every precaution to protect everyone within that open house showing, for example. So things like that potentially could harm your brand. You could take steps today to ensure that is in place and that no one is being caused any harm because they walked into an open house, and that will continue to engage the government and folks that, look, we're taking every precaution to protect everyone. We shouldn't stop open houses or restaurants or closing the economy in general. Finally, we can also find out if that person is interested in buying or selling very quickly, and then based on the method that they told us. So, for example, if Saeed is buying, I will send them more information about what you need to understand about buying a home. And let's say Kyla is looking to sell, well, we're going to send her information that she needs to know about selling. But that can happen in a second, the minute that she provides us that information within the contact. If we have let's say market surveys, let's say I live in Dartmouth in the Portland estate area, and you already know that Portland estate area has that information. It's already in a library within the system. We can automatically send them the up-to-date information as soon as they tell us that they're interested in the Portland estate area, and that information is pushed to them very quickly on its own. So this way, you are the most responsive agent broker in the industry, because the technology is available 24/7, and they're saying, my God, these guys get it. I want to work with an organization that's forward thinking. Step two, again, looking at getting the confirmation. The system will automatically, utilizing our intelligence and smart decision-making process, will send that information very quickly to the users and support them on the things that was provided. As you have more and more information that's within the system gets smarter and smarter as you're developing these workflows within the SimplyCast engagement platform. Again, as I've mentioned, you should not be living without a pipeline, period. Pipeline is key. It shows you where the leads are at, what their interest, where they're at in their stages. It just makes your life simple. Stress levels are usually high when things are busy and booming. This alone, implementing that pipeline, could reduce your stress rate. I would, say probably over to 50 to 60% very easily. Finally, we want to bring up, maybe I'll stop here for 1 minute just to see if Emma has any numbers to share. And then I want to go into something that we're going to talk about, which is called business development, which is specifically the pipeline process that I've been mentioning throughout the webinar. Emma, any feedback?
We have a quiet crew this morning, but I will say that as the chamber, we are definitely interested in the pipeline process, because we have kind of an unofficial membership cycle. In those first 3 months, we really want to get you engaged. And those next 6 months, we want to make sure you're coming to an event. And by the time next year rolls around, you've seen the value in your membership. So I see how important it is to kind of keep that communication going, especially in those first few months of opening up a relationship. So I love what you said there, Saeed.
Excellent. Well, that's great. So thanks again for the audience as you continue to listen to this. But so 3 things that we've learned so far today. Number 1 is that you need to be a super engager, and SimplyCast is an engagement platform that can meet the needs of whatever use case that you come up with. If you dream of a use case, just let us know, and we'll work with you on it. You need to get back to a client very quickly, and technology like this can get back the information that you're sending out, 365, 7 days a week, and 24/7. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to scale up your outreach and the business that you're doing. And and I guess finally is that if you don't have a pipeline, you have to have a pipeline. It just makes life so simple, and it automates the day-to-day tasks that you have to do. And if you have staff, pipeline could increase your productivity by a huge percentage, because now you can split up the little things that need to happen within your organization to what we'd like to call account managers or a person responsible. So let's say somebody has to do an open house. You're not available, but you have an associate, agent. You can actually assign that open house task to that individual and say, hey, at that time, and then you can send them reminders like an hour before a text message goes out to them and say, hey, by the way, don't forget about the open house. It's starting in an hour. And then you could also send to people that are interested in the open house that let them know that the open house is happening. So there's a lot of these, what I'd like to call interactions that could happen with the buyers, that could happen with people that are walking in. You actually have full control of all the processes within your business because you have a pipeline. And it's the most important thing of any business, regardless if you're small, medium, or large, you need to have a pipeline. So moving into the concept of the building blocks, and this is a really important thing that we're going to be doing with the chamber. We're going to be providing this to pretty much every industry because it actually applies to every industry. And the concept here, and we're not going to go too much into the numbers, but as you can see here, what we have seen when you implement business development pipelines, we have seen a 245% ROI. That is just incredible for any business to have that level of ROI when you're moving from a manual to a streamlined process. Also, customer satisfaction increased, and I think in the real estate industry, it's probably going to be in the 50 to 60% because I've bought a home long time ago, and I know a number of people have bought homes, and they've always said, look, the reason why we went with this agent is they got to us very fast, they were responsive, they talked to us, they provided us more information compared to the other agent, and also the second thing that they use is, hey, I know somebody that used them and they told me a lot of good things about them. So if you respond to them faster, that's usually the first indicator. And then the second is basically if you work with someone else on other indicators as well. So I think getting back to them quickly and showing them that you know more and you're providing them with more information is probably going to secure the deal for you and have more homes to buy and potentially sell. So business development, as you can imagine, I didn't call it, we call it pipeline internally at SimplyCast, but in the world, everybody calls it business development. And we've taken the concept of business development and basically applied it within the pipelining process, within the solution. And basically, as I've said, I don't need to read the slide, as I said across this presentation, it just makes workload a lot less for everybody involved. And if you're only one person doing this, you can basically multiply yourself by 5 when you're applying the business development pipelining process that we've developed for the real estate industry. So step 1, as you can see, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. If you were to just use the simplest part of the pipelining business development process, you have a form that people could get to. Let's say even this little form is someone writing something down. And then you're taking it and then you're processing it into the form. So they don't have to always have access to this form, but if they did, we can input that information very quickly into the system. And if you have their information and you have consent to put it in the system, you can just put it yourself. So it doesn't have to be one-sided or a single way of doing this. Step 2, as soon as that information is being put in, and you could actually be standing in the open house and say, hey, can I get your information as you're walking in? And you could be putting that information in the form and say, hey, can I send you a quick confirmation email to thank you for visiting? And you can even use this to say, this also is part of the COVID process, so I can show you, as long as they understand that you're doing it for both purposes, then you're okay, but you can't use a COVID check-in for confirmation. That would not be kosher in this case. So be very careful of what you're signing up. If it's for COVID only do it for COVID. If it's for sales and marketing, then make sure that you're mentioning that as part of the process of signing people up. And as you can see here, an email goes out confirming and thanking them, and then giving them some general information about yourself and how long you've been in business. And you can put as much as you want in that confirmation email if you wish, and even links to your website, links to testimonials, list to your current listings and all the listings under your name if you wish. So there's a lot that you can put in there, but it gives access to that information quickly, and the confirmation process is in place. Now, pipeline. This is my favorite part because of how much it could do for you as an individual and as a broker. And if you could apply this to all your agents, you can just imagine that your brokerage firm will go through the roof because of the efficiencies that's actually being provided. If your brokerage firm is a member of the chamber, there's a chance that the chamber will probably allow you to use it for all your agents as well, as long as you have a valid membership within the chamber. So as you can see here, we've just basically had, we've created 5 stages of our pipeline, but you can create up to 10 or 15 stages if you wanted to, or 100 stages if you wanted to. They'll be in separate pipelines, but you can basically say, I've captured someone, I've made a call to them, I've unqualified them because maybe they're tire kickers and they don't actually have a reason. They were just walking into the property because they have a property up the road and they're not really interested in selling or buying. So I'm going to unqualify them for now, maybe follow up with them later on. Or somebody says, yeah, actually, you know what, I have a house next door and I'm actually thinking of selling. Since you have this listing, well, guess what, this person just became qualified, and then we can go and have a chat with them and discuss the opportunity for us to become their listing agent and support them in the process. Now that they know that I'm listing a house in their neighborhood, they'll probably have a higher level of trust. So there's opportunities to kind of segment all these different opportunities that are coming in, but you don't have to keep all that stuff in your mind. You don't have to put it in a notepad. The pipeline will keep that clear for you. And as soon as you have a few hours of your day where you know what, I've got nothing else that I need to do today, maybe I'll take a look at my pipeline and see if I can unearth a few more qualified leads and see if I can lead them into my business so I can convert them into either a listing or see if they're interested in buying a home. So the pipeline will give you that opportunity to start digging into areas that a human can't just keep up with across the board. And that's why pipelines are very, very important. And finally, here's just a quick example of, book your one-on-one discovery call, right? We're using the pipeline process the same way that you would use it for booking a new, client. So we're using our own software, as people would say, we're eating our own dog food. Our company would not have been able to grow the way that it's grown over the last 10 to 11 years without using the software that we have been using. So we built it for ourselves. We built it for the market. We're in 175 countries today. Some of our customers that are using it today, and I'll just give you some examples. Eastlink is using it for debt collections. NSCC is using it for reminding students to send in their transcripts, along with making sure that they have a higher level of engagement with the students high school students before they arrive. Dalhousie University, Dalplex is using it for membership engagement. I'm very proud to say that our new premier just recently used it to do COVID check-ins at the swearing ceremony. So we're very proud that we were powering the new premier's COVID check-in process as well. The IWK is using it for engagement to basically educate people and kids before a surgery, for example. So a lot is actually happening, and if you can come up with that concept of a use case, it's going to be very important for you that that there's technology that's able to do this and support you on the work that you have. So this is my presentation. We're a little over time from the half an hour that I usually like to do a webinar. But Emma, is there any questions from the audience that you'd like me to answer?
Yes, there are, and I think that was the perfect amount of time. So great work.
Thank you.
We have a question that asks if the setup process for SimplyCast is doable for a one-person operation.
Absolutely.
Great.
That is
okay.
that is the key to the technology, and the reason why we've created this engagement and automation technology is that we need you to be like a 100-person shop, and the only way to do it is by investing in technology and being an owner operator, I guess in this case. This is the perfect technology to use. I am biased when I say that, but take my word for it and just book your discovery call and take a look at what the opportunities that we can help you streamline.
Perfect, thank you. Will this be ongoing management to set up SimplyCast, or do I set it up once and then it's done?
Yeah, so as long as you don't make any more changes, and this is what I said about the technology, I always recommend for everyone to conduct continuous improvement, because when you start, it's like building a home. Once you build a home and you move in, then you're starting to think about, maybe I should create a den because I want to work from home. I want to maybe change the colors, and you start seeing these small improvements that you can do. The beauty of SimplyCast is if you wanted to create the process, set it and forget it, absolutely. But I always recommend that you look at opportunities to improve the process and increase the engagement, or change a few of the things, maybe every couple of months, just to keep it fresh. And the way to do that, it could be just a subject line change. It doesn't have to be the process, but you could be changing a subject line of a message just to try different messaging with your clients, and that could reveal that the open rate goes up by 5%, which is huge if you have 1,000 people signing up a year. That's that's potentially 50 new leads coming into your business that by small change of a subject line could end up to be a few hundred, maybe a few 100,000 of extra revenue.
Perfect, thank you. Yes, we all know the power of a subject line, so
Absolutely.
definitely take his word for that. Are there guides or other support to help me learn the program and the platform? I know you mentioned the discovery call. Is there account managers or anything that can help them
Yeah, no,
figure out their way?
That's a great question. And Alyssa is on the call. So Alyssa is our content and strategy manager at SimplyCast. Thank you for joining us, Alyssa. So Alyssa has developed a lot of frequently asked questions on the website. As long as you type the word SimplyCast in the front of your Google and search, general search, just put in SimplyCast and your question, and you'll see tons and tons and tons of information that's available. Also videos. However, we have an account manager that's dedicated for the chamber and the chamber clients. You make a call, they will get back to you very quickly, and you can use them as reminders and say, hey, can you remind me how this works? And then they'll actually do a quick video session with you and share with you how it works. The key thing here is that I want you to dream about the use cases within your business that potentially could benefit you and might put you above and beyond what every other agent is doing out there. You make that call to your account manager. They'll develop it specifically for you, and then you can actually see the data coming in and how it's actually working for you. So that whole process is available, and we're here to support your success and show you the value of your membership along with the power of the software for something else.
Perfect. Thank you, Saeed. How does it integrate with other systems? I know we talked about it a little bit, but could you touch on that a little bit more?
Yeah, so SimplyCast, day one, since I'm the founder of the company, I can share this with you. I basically decided that we don't want to be a closed system. We don't want to be a Microsoft, for example, where they do not allow you to see beyond the inner working of the technology. We decided that we want our technology to be integrated with anyone, and we want the data to be yours, not ours. So as soon as you put data into our system, we do not lock it up, so you can't actually use it again for any other purpose. We allow what we call an inbound integration and an outbound integration. So let's say you want to integrate data from the MLS system. You can actually bring all that data into our system, use it for whatever purposes that you want, and then you could come out with pieces of information specifically into another software and feed it into that software. We could be a gateway. We can connect on both ends, and we don't want any of our systems to be locked up.
Great. Okay. Thank you very much. That is all the questions I had. Did anyone else have any other questions just before we wrap it up here? Just give everyone a minute.
And before we wrap up, if you don't mind.
Oh yes, go ahead.
I always ask my people that are watching these webinars is just to give me one word feedback. What do you think of this session? And if you don't mind typing that out for me, that's the only thing I ask for you to provide. And Emma will just read them out as they come in. And if you have like questions, we're here to answer them. But I would very much appreciate if you tell me what that one word that came to mind when you went through this session. And I really appreciate you being here today. And feel free to give us a call directly. And this is the booking one-on-one discovery. Emma will post it in the chat again if you like Emma to put that in there.
Yep, and then, it's in there.
Perfect. All right, let's see what those one-word descriptions of the webinar.
All right, we've got informative, we've got good tips, we've got a couple thank yous.
Perfect.
And I'm trying to come up with a one-word answer. So I'm going to say engaging, Saeed. You're a great presenter.
Thank you, Emma. I appreciate it. And Sandra, what did you think? And since we want you to participate as well.
Agreed. Very informative and engaging.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. We'll wait a couple more minutes, I guess, to see if anybody has any questions. But if you don't have any more questions, I very much thank you and appreciate. And it was an honor to have you as part of my session today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. I know we had a couple people who couldn't attend this morning and they have all reached out to us and asked for the recording. So that's perfect. We will get that over to them right after this, and we'll have it up on YouTube.
Perfect. And Emma,
So,
is it
yeah.
okay for others to share this with brokers and agents out there?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Perfect. And
Absolutely. We want everyone to take advantage.
please, let them know that they need to take a membership with the Halifax Chamber so they can get this technology for free.
Yes, absolutely. This is a really great deal for your value of your membership. And after the year, you're going to fall in love with this platform for sure. So we hope that this will be helpful for everyone.
And
You've seen,
I guess
yeah,
one last point, Emma, just to mention the cost of the software after year one is the chamber has also secured a really good deal for you. So you will not be paying for a licensing fee in year two. You're only going to be paying for usage. So the average broker could be probably spending anywhere between $20 to $50 a year on the software, because
that
the
is a
chamber has
really good deal.
because the chamber has actually secured the license for the second year as well. So it's actually a 2-year deal. The year one is free, and then the second year, if you're using the system, heavily, you could be paying maybe tens of dollars a month. And if you're not using the system to send anything out, it's probably going to be near zero because you're using it for pipeline and controlling the messaging. So there's minimal cost. So it's not a huge amount of money in year two as well. So 24 months of the software is available to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Saeed. Yes, that's right. A
Correct.
whole 2 years. That's you can't really beat it. So thanks again, everyone. We've got lots of events coming up in March. So check out our events calendar online at halifaxchamber.com/events. This Thursday, we're hosting Barb Stegman, CEO of Seven Virtues, and Claire McKenzie of Edgewood Communications for a workshop Thursday evening. Don't miss it. And this webinar was recorded, and we will send it out to all of the attendees shortly. And you can share it with your teams or your friends also in the industry. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much, Saeed. We'll see you next time.